Somebody knows what freedom is in here. Somebody knows what freedom is because you've been bound. And once you've been bound and set free, you know what freedom is. The only people that don't know what freedom is folks that ain't never been bound or those that still bound. I grew up in the country and I watched horses. It's a horse that lived right across the road from where I grew up, a white horse. I don't know his name, but every so often the owner would bring the horse by. This huge animal, and I was so small at the time, a little girl, 3-4 years old, and this huge animal, I was so amazed that he would lead this animal by nothing more than a rope. Y'all ever seen somebody lead a horse? With a bit in their mouth and a rope. He'd lead the horse over to us, and it looked like a rope. I'm sure it was the bridle, the reins of the animal, and he'd lead it over, and he'd hold it still, and he'd let my grandmother pick me up and put me on it. And every now and then he'd take me around the yard on this horse. And it didn't appear to me and occur to me until years later that how is it an animal that's so big and so strong will allow somebody to lead it around with just a rope and a bit in its mouth. Until I started looking at, and this is when I became a Christian, the way we allow the devil to lead us around. Because we have the power of God himself. The Bible said the same power that raised Jesus Christ from the dead lives inside of you. And so how is it now that we have all this power inside of us and we allow the devil to lead us around with nothing more than a trinket, a carrot on the end of a rope? Come on, come on, follow me. Come on this way. Come on that way. And we follow.
Yes.
You're free. Come on. You're free. The power that lives inside of you makes you free. Jesus Christ overcame death, not so you could sit in bondage, not so you could sit with your hands shackled, not so you could be somebody's slave to sin or even to your flesh, so that you could live a life of freedom in Jesus Christ. You are free. And once we catch hold to that, once we catch on, see, I don't think it hasn't clicked sometimes, because once you catch on to the fact that you have free, if that horse would have just caught on to the fact that really he was free. I don't care that he had a rope, and I don't care the bit was in it. He was free. Because if that horse wanted to, that horse could take off running at any moment in time and run away. He could run faster than that man, and he's stronger than that man, and been gone. And look at us. But I'm going to tell you why that horse stayed. Y'all know why that horse stayed. Because see, when things are cozy, come on now, get quiet now, because when things are cozy, see, the owner of the horse gave him plenty to eat. He wasn't lacking in no meals. He was a strong horse. He wasn't thin. He wasn't lacking in no meals. He gave him adequate room to run around, and there was a fence, and so it was a big old yard out there, big old field out there, 2-3 acres, and he figured that's adequate space for me to run in. The man had convinced the horse that if you leave up out of this fence, there's danger beyond here, and if you leave up out of here, you gonna end up hurt. And so the animal stayed. Why? Because he had shelter when it rained. He had a nice stable to go to. He had plenty of hay to eat. He got brushed and rubbed and ridden and talked to on a regular basis. And many of us, just like that with the devil. The devil will keep you comfy, cozy, just so he can keep you bound. Oh, y'all ain't talking to me. Y'all say it ain't the sermon time yet, so we ain't gonna talk back. The devil will keep you comfy just so he can keep you bound. That's that's the end of the day right there. Because and many of us mistake what the devil's been giving us for blessings of God.
Right. Come on now.
And we say, look how the Lord is keeping me. Look how the Lord has blessed me. Look how the Lord has given to me. God has blessed me. God is giving to me. The Lord has smiled on me. Yes. Just like that horse. Right. Yeah. All the while, ain't nothing but the devil reining us in tighter, reining us in closer, so we feel dependent upon him for every necessity of life.
Come on.
Right. But when you are free, with freedom, there is also a cost.
Yeah.
Anybody that has ever watched any slave movie, from Roots to Amistad to anything else, know that some of the slaves didn't want to be set free.
That's it.
They said, why? And you can read it in the Bible, actually, in Exodus. Well, when Master gave us plenty of food to eat and shelter, why should we be free?
Come on.
Why are you going to take me for the comforts of Master's house all the way into the wilderness to try to head to somewhere called north that I don't even know if that place really exists? There's a cost to freedom, and that cost is responsibility.
Yes.
And many of us don't want the responsibility of freedom, and so we opt to stay bound by the devil.
Come on, say so.
We opt to stay bound by our material things. Yeah. We opt to stay bound by the sin life that we have become so accustomed to.
Yeah.
And we will not remove ourselves from it for fear that there may not be a better place than the place that we are now.
Come on, Pastor.
The enemy has convinced us that this is the best that it gets. Where else can you get 3 meals? Where else can you get a shelter over your head? Where else can you get taken care of like this? If you leave from beyond these gates, you're bound to be hurt. But today I declare the gate is open.
Yes. Yes.
You are free. And there is nowhere that you can go that your God will not supply every need. See, that was the difference between Pharaoh in Egypt and God of Israel. The Pharaoh in Israel provided the needs of the people while they were in Egypt.
Come on.
Once they left the boundary of Egypt, all provision cut off.
That's it.
But the Bible declares that God followed and went ahead of the Israelites in a pillar of smoke and a pillar of fire and a cloud of smoke. He went wherever they went. There is nowhere that you can go that God will not follow and go before you. He will linger with you as long as you are doing his will and following where he tells you to go.
That's right, Pastor.
Don't let the enemy convince you that you must stay confined to a box and confined to these parameters so that you are shackled, because here is where safety is. Safety is wherever God resides. Yes. You are free. Yes. Some of y'all not sure what that means. And you're sitting here, you say, I'm free, but free to do what? And that shows right there that you've been bound too long. Because if this is not good news to you, see what I'm saying? If this is not good news to you, you had no aspiration beyond the gate.
That's it.
Right. Amen.
And so now the homework is to go home and begin to pray on God. First of all, where's the parameter that I've been living in? And then what's beyond the parameter that I haven't even considered? And why? Why have I never considered that there's more than what I have right here? How many people know there's more? There's more for you. There's more. And I'm not saying that where you are is bad. Don't get me wrong and say that I'm not trying to preach the you miserable gospel here. Some people will do that. Some pastors will sit there and tell you miserable right where you are, you need to get, and they will preach a prosperity gospel, and that's not what I'm preaching. I'm saying that where you are is not the end.
That's it.
No matter how wonderful where you are is, it's never the end, because God always has aspirations to elevate you to something better.
Yes.
Why? Because there are still hungry people out here. That's how I know that there's more for us. Because there's still hungry people out here. There's still homeless people out here. There's still sick people out here. And if we were elevated to the place that God needs us to get to, we would solve some of those issues.
Yeah.
See, the enemy, I'm going to go ahead and just preach right now if y'all don't mind. This ain't the sermon, but I'll say that for later.
Go ahead. Preach it.
The enemy gives us things so we can feel good.
Yes, he does.
God blesses us to be a blessing to someone else.
Yes, that's it.
Come on. If what you are calling a blessing is just for you,
Come on.
Right.
check what the tag says and who it came from.
That's good right there.
When God wraps a present and it's a blessing and you open it, it's enough in the package and a little card attached that says this is for you and for everybody in your vicinity. Here's how you use your portion and here's what I want you to do with the rest.
Come on, Pastor.
When the devil wraps a package, he'll wrap it up and say, here, it's just for you. Take all of it.
Come on.
Don't share it with nobody. You don't have to share it with nobody because I gave it to you. It don't got nobody else's name on it, does it? That's yours and yours alone. See, many of us understand this concept because, and you know it better than I do because I grew up an only child. I grew up and there wasn't nobody else in the house but me. So anything that was wrapped up under the gift, under the tree that said Candace on it, that was for Candace and Candace only. So I grew up and I understood what's mine is mine. And when you come to play, you might be able to touch it, but when you leave, it stays right here. That's how I grew up. But those of us that grew up, and later on I had step siblings, and my step siblings came along, and I grew up then, I had to learn that whatever is under the tree, although it may have your name on it, it actually belongs to all of y'all. The toy in the package might be technically yours, but the toy in the package is for the use and enjoyment of everybody that lives in the house that would like to use it. And I needed to learn that concept early in life because if I was to ever be blessed by God, and I thank the Lord that He has started and has blessed me over and over and over again, that if I were to ever be blessed by God, then I would need to understand the difference of the devil giving me something or God blessing me with something. And I encourage everyone here today to look through, we used to sing a song, Count Your Blessings, Name Them One by One. To begin to count your blessings and name them one by one, but then also attach to it, and how do I utilize this blessing for the good of those around me?
That's right.
If you cannot determine how it is good for someone else, and I'm not talking that you start stretching.
All right.
Well, God bless me with this here, and you stretching, so I feel like I use it because it makes me look good, and when I look good, I make people happy. You know, we stretch sometimes. God bless me with a whole new MAC makeup set, and the reason He did it is so that when I smile at people, they feel good. You know, I make stuff up sometimes. Don't do that. It should be obvious what the blessing is for. God has blessed you so that you can be a blessing to other people.
That's right.
We sometimes stay bound by the enemy because we do not understand the blessings of God in the way in which we should. I'm about to sit down and honestly we're going to collect the offering, we're going to do the faith confessions, and then we're going to go distribute to the homeless. Amen?
Amen.
But I want to talk to you real quick about the prayer of Jabez. I've preached on this before, but the Lord is bringing this back into my spirit right now. The prayer of Jabez, this is someone that understood the blessings of God. Understood what a blessing was and how to utilize it. The prayer of Jabez is simple. It's just this. He said, "Oh God, that thou would increase, enlarge," in some texts, "my territory." That's the prayer of Jabez right there. Jabez is in the Bible literally that much. Like there's one little section that says, and there was Jabez, and tells who his daddy was, and this was his prayer, and I just told you the prayer, oh, that you would enlarge my territory, and that's the end. We don't hear about him no more. But there's so much to garner from the prayer of Jabez. The prayer of Jabez, when he asked that God enlarge his territory, he was asking God for a blessing. He was asking God technically for financial blessing. He was, and there's nothing wrong. See, many of us, we get scared that we can't ask God for finances. You can ask God for anything you can ask him for anything you need or want. And so Jabez decided, I'm going to ask for financial blessing. The way in which he asked it, however, is this: I have this much land already, God, and now I am asking that you enlarge my territory. So instead of only having this much, I'm asking for all of this. Enlarge my territory. Now, when Jabez asked God to enlarge his territory, he knew that the outcome of that was more money. Why? Because territory was used for either farming cattle or farming sheep or something like that, or it was used for crops. It was used for putting seed in the ground and harvesting something so that you could eat off of it and share it with the community and sell it. Right? Yeah. So when he asked that you please, God, enlarge my territory, he wasn't just saying, I want a nice little ocean view. I want something I can look out over and put a little chair in and lounge around in. That's not what he was asking for. He was asking for more land so that he could do something with the land. He was asking that he would have more territory to grow more food, or to, we don't really know what his profession was, or to have more sheep so that he could then have more wool to sell, or have more food to eat, or have more food to harvest so that he could then get more. The thing is with Jabez and with all of us, when the territory was enlarged, the work was increased. That's it. Many of us, we want more territory, but we don't want any more work. Right. We want the land, right, but don't want the responsibility that comes along with having the land. I learned something so interesting the other day, and I want to share this with y'all. Y'all know the term taken for granted. That's right. Right. And we understand the term taken for granted to mean this: that you have been given something, it is in your possession, but you don't appreciate it. Right? Yeah. That's what we understand it to be. The original meaning of the term taken for granted was given back in the days when you could be granted a plot of land to do something with. So you would, in essence, just like Jabez asked, oh God, that you would increase my territory. You could go to the lenders, you could go to the landowners of the city or the county or wherever and say, I would like a grant for a plot of land. Now, under the provision that you were going to do something and increase on that land, they would give you an acre or two, under the understanding that once you got the acre or two, you were going to make it better than what it was. You were going to farm on it, or you were going to create a store on it, or even a church on it. Somehow or another, you were going to improve on the land so that land, they granted it to you so that land is better than it was just sitting there when it was out of your possession. Now, where the term came from is that if you were given a plot of land and did nothing with it, you have taken it for granted, but there was a consequence for taking it for granted. If you did not make well on the land, and the understanding was not met, the agreement did not come to fruition, the owners of the land, although they gave it to you, it was in your possession, could come and take the back in my pocket because I can give it to somebody else that may do something with it. And many of us been praying to God, and God will open up a field and say, here you go, this is yours. But we will take it for granted. And the next thing you know, God will come along and say, it's been a year now, and ain't nothing grew on this land. You ain't got so much as nothing on here. You ain't got one cow yet. What is it? You ain't even got you got weeds. You ain't got a beet in the ground nowhere. And God will then take back what he gave us and give it to somebody else. Taken for granted. Freedom comes with a cost. Freedom comes with responsibility. Freedom, though it feel good, is not free. Freedom is not free, but freedom sure is fun. It sure is fun. I got to get Virginia on y'all on this one. It sure is fun. I've been living in freedom for quite some time now. And I look back on my bondage days. I look back on the captivity days. I look back on the shackles days, and all I can do is wonder, my God, how did I get here?
That's right.
We used to say, how did I get over? My soul looks back and wonders, how did I get over? How did I get here? I'm going to give y'all the secret, and then I'm going to put this mic down, and we're going to do the faith confessions, and we're going to collect the offering. The secret is Jesus.
Yes.
That's it.
Ain't no secret. Jesus. Jesus. I used to be bound to a prescription, but Jesus. And I'm not telling y'all no jokes. I used to be bound to a prescription that made me not feel like myself. And I said, I don't want this no more. This don't make me feel right. And the doctor said, but you need it because you've been carrying this weight, and this takes the load off. And I said, I understand I need something. I can't lie to you, but I don't want this. And she said, well, you're going to have to figure something out, because this is what's keeping you sane. And I said, okay, well, I don't want it, but I'm going to figure out something else that I can have in replace of it. And I could have gone off, and I could have self-medicated, but I was in the Marine Corps at the time, and I said, well, I can't do that, because they'll kick me straight on out, and it won't work anyhow, because then as soon as that go down, I'll still be in the same position that I was before I lit it up. You understand what I'm saying? So I said, I can't do that. And so I searched high and I searched low, and I went and I stepped into a church one day, and when I stepped in the church, it was as if at one point I was drowning, but the waters receded and I walked on dry land, and I never needed to take a pill again. Jesus. Jesus. I enlarged my territory and did something with it. Jesus. You act like you ain't never know. You see my medical record. Medical record sitting right on the shelf. She's sitting with the big eyes. But I tell some of your business, we had the same prescription, did we not? We've talked about it, amen? But when I look at you, and we understand, I don't know if you ever took yours, but you had some. And I wonder how you made it over. I know what the secret is in that as well. Jesus. Amen. I'm not telling nobody get off your medication. Somebody like, I'm throwing it away as soon as I get home. I'm done, y'all. Let's go ahead and get those faith confessions passed out, if you will. I'm not telling y'all to throw away your medication. I'm not telling you to go against what the doctor said to do. But I am saying this.
Yes.
You will know. You will know.
That's right.
For yourself when transformation and change takes place.
That's right.
And when you know that for yourself, talk to your doctor and witness to them why you don't need this anymore.
Right. Right.
Tell them, take me down to 1 pill a day. Then come back, take me down to a half.
There you go.
Come back, take me down to 1 every other day. Come back, take me down to 1 a week. Wow, what is it that's going on that you able to come up off this medication? Jesus.
Yes.
Jesus. And I'm going to tell you how. It's not something, and there's a supernatural spiritual aspect to this, but really, there's a very logical aspect that goes along with it. When you find Jesus, amen, we about to pull out the faith, everybody have a faith confession. When you find Jesus, when you come to the Lord, and you really begin to do the work of Christ, when you become the hands, the feet, and the mouth of God, and that is what you saturate your life with. I'm not talking here and there. I'm not talking on Sundays, I'm the feet, the hands, and the mouth of God, and maybe on Wednesdays I'll do it too. But I'm talking literally saturate your life with God. And erase from your life, remove from your life anything that is not God. I had to purge a lot of things. Purge them, things that aren't necessarily bad. It got to the point, Erica can tell you, I wouldn't even watch Final Destination. She started playing it one day and I was like, oh, gotta go. Like I was the man on the thing. On the, what's it called? On Color Purple. I said, ooh, gotta go. And I ran and went upstairs. Because the little symbols was crossing over the screen. I said, I can't be in a room with this. What may be okay for others might not be okay for you. Ain't nothing wrong with that movie and for other folk, but for me at that time in my life, I couldn't see that stuff. That would have sent me all the way back. You got to know, you got to purge the things that's going to tempt you. Purge the things that's going to get into your spirit. You got to literally remove yourself from anything that is of the world. Saturate yourself in God, and that is how it takes place. The responsibility and freedom.
Yeah.
That's it.
Amen.
Yes.
That's how it happened. That's what happened. And watch God work. Amen.